Hello, this is AKR News. And in AKR News, we're going to be talking about what has been going on in politics, where CNN, MSNBC, Fox News covers, we're the parody. But also, we convey unknown messages to the world to describe what's going on. Greg, explain what's going on in the weather.
I'm not a meteorologist. We've seen somewhat chaotic weather patterns because of increasing global temperatures. That's all I really know. I guess, like, I don't know, maybe this is something people should consider. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But I've heard what's happening now described more as not just climate change, but climate chaos. So we're just seeing events that we wouldn't normally consider to happen just all over the world, and well, obviously because it's global. So what we're, and a while ago it was made clear that what year was it? I can't remember. That we had like 12 years to figure this out, or things will be irreparable. And I think we're close to the deadline, and Donald Trump is president, and I guess we've made our choice, right? That we'll go with, I guess, what will become eco-fascism, rather than just like actually figuring out what's going on. Anyway, life is hell, death's a bitch, and these foobar rulers getting rich.
And I have a lot to agree with him on that. But at one point, I'm not disagreeing, but at the same time, there's circumstances that go with the events that carry a different perspective on what's going on. We could say a lot of what's happened in the global warming has already happened millions of years ago, though the Earth heated up. But it also had the same problems, but that's a Republican view. But I'm just saying it as a joke to convey that I'm actually sort of Republican in an alternative sense. But this guy's always going to be left. But at the same time, he doesn't fight with the rights. He just is like, oh, you guys are annoying. But on the next stage of this news, let's talk about Trump and the Epstein files. Let's go, Greg.
Everything points toward the current president of the United States and I'm not going to figure out the number, Bill Clinton, also being white, possibly child predators, and it's dark. Like, what's going on is really dark. Like, I don't know, like, maybe if we get through this, people will realize that,
But my question is, why do we do this on the first place? Why does Epstein do stuff like that on the first place? What is he even thinking? Where does he come up with this idea? Is he raised this way?
Epstein's background is really complicated, and where his money came from is still poorly understood. He only had one real client, as far as I know. There are reasons to believe that he may have been involved with intelligence in general. Basically, like Mossad and the CIA.
Any Israeli intelligence.
That's Mossad. Just his Ghislaine Maxwell's family had really strong associations
Okay.
is real.
Okay. Now let's move into deaths. People that died and how you grieved with them. Honestly, when Ozzy died, I grieved with him. When a few other celebrities died, I grieved with them too. But I always feel like they're very alive to me. What do you think?
So like the deaths of famous figures that influenced you or helped or had some effect on you.
Yes.
So a singer that I've been a fan of, at least since high school, is David Berman. So he was very much part of the sort of lo-fi indie scene of the early 90s for a while. So that was when he was like in his 20s. He was born in a different part of Virginia, but spent most of the time in Charlottesville and went to UVA. Anyway, so basically, he was a singer I really liked. He wrote some amazing songs, and then like recently, he suddenly made this like actually just amazing album under a different band name. The band name was Purple Mountains, and that was. That was a really dark album, right? I had been listening to it for a while, and it's a really good album, don't get me wrong. But when I listened to it, I was like, oh, he's gonna kill himself. And then a few months later, he killed himself. And so it was just weird. This was like 2018, 2019. COVID made everything seem like a blur.
But why did COVID make everything seem like a blur? Why do you think this has occurred? Why do you think that we're dealing with a situation with COVID even though it feels as if it's gone, but it's still inherent? What is really prolonging its activity? Is it just pure mathematics and science, or it has something to do with the environment?
I think, okay, so it's, okay, I'm just gonna relate a certain part of history for it. What is it? So, you know, the flu, that's the thing that we get regularly. We get vaccines against. Just like sometimes we're in bed for 2 weeks or so. It just is whatever. The flu wasn't a thing for most of human history. The way that it came into human consciousness was the Spanish influenza, which took place at the same time as World War I, and wasn't actually from Spain. It's a whole thing. Anyway, so eventually the Spanish influenza died off, but it also had mutated, and that's the flu that we have today. So it seems like COVID is going to keep on going around, but it's subsided. That I don't know. I guess like the worst thing about COVID is that there was this idea that maybe a world catastrophic event would get people to, unite for a little bit, but that didn't happen.
Exactly, it didn't happen.
Things got worse.
A global event doesn't interact with us, interest does. Like excitement, entertainment, something that pushes us based on social motivation, victory motivation, because victory is more powerful than social equality. Victory goes beyond that. But nobody likes to think in victory because they don't like to see themselves as a higher authority or leader. Some people like to see them as lower than others, but that's just how the social dynamics works in the government in social conscious politics. But on the other hand, what would you like to talk about with the issue revolving around Trump and other people that have applied for presidential candidates? That what are they doing now?
So like, who might like try to run for presidency next? Like, yeah, during the next election cycle.
Yeah, so talking about Trump and what's going on with him now.